Last Saturday, I was doing a Bloodborne stream with Wacky, and during the conversation, we hit up the topic of evolution in the Bloodborne Universe, which resulted in the ideas I posted in this video. Now, you will very quickly notice that this video format is a bit different than my usual videos, and there is a good reason for it. Due to my personal life, I have a lot less time to spend each week making these kind of videos, but I still want to make content and put the ideas I have regarding the lore of these games out there. So, even though it will not be in all of the videos, I do plan to make some of these videos with a format that will focus more heavily on conversation and just putting out the ideas for you guys to discuss. With that out of the way, I do want to sink my teeth on the meat of this theory. As I mentioned before, Wacky and I briefly discussed the topic of evolution during our conversation, and that got me thinking about the theme of evolution in this game. After all, it is undeniable that through their actions, most of the factions present in Bloodborne attempt to achieve some sort of transcendence or evolution, even if their means are radically different. The scholars of Byrgenwerth, led by their very respected Provost Willem, believe that in order to ascend, humans need to attain ice on the inside. I believe that Master Willem takes this very literally, and this is why he is completely entranced by Rum, the vacuous spider, to the point that his disciples feel that Rum is keeping Master Willem away from them. Now, it is an undeniable fact that Master Willem has changed or mutated in some fashion, as evidenced by the strange growths on his back, and he has forsaken his original eyes, though he can still see, as evidenced by his pointing towards Rum when spoken to. So I think he actually managed to gain some of these eyes, but what this has done for him in regards to ascendance is another matter entirely, and I do not think we have enough information to definitively know if he was successful in his attempt to evolve. We do know, though, that he was using and researching the third chords of the Great Ones to try and do this. Now, the school's adage of "fear the old blood" reveals that Provost Willem does not approve the usage of the blood in order to ascend. On the other hand, we have Lawrence, a former disciple of Willem, that believes that it is through the old blood that the human can hope to ascend closer to the realm of the gods. It is to that effect that he founds a healing church, and he is to blame for the widespread use of the old blood to heal human ailments. Through this usage, the scourge of the beasts is accelerated, and even though the blood has incredible properties that are capable of augmenting the human physique, it is quite obvious by the loss of humanity that this is not a final avenue of evolution towards the Great Ones. However, during the time of the Healing Church, a research hall was established. This research hall was overseen by Lady Maria, but it was arguably sanctioned by what would become the choir arm of the Healing Church. The choir has a very scientific approach to evolution and ascension, and they seek little improvements over time in order to find out the specific qualities that allow humans to reach that next level. If we look at the celestial emissaries, we can see what the focus of the choir is and the extent of their success, and if we look at the living failures, we know how much they've progressed. The emissaries are arguably the closest a branch of the Healing Church has gotten to evolve towards the Great Ones, as the emissaries are kin of the cosmos, and that makes them familiars of the Great Ones. The focus that the choir has taken through their research is a combination of both of the previous methods, the old blood, as evidenced by Adeline, and the eyes on the inside, as evidenced by the celestial children located by the orphanage in Upper Cathedral Ward. Furthermore, the choir arrives to the right conclusion that the worlds, realities or dimensions, whichever way you want to call it, are stacked, and it is only the Great Ones that can freely traverse these planes of existence. Now, regarding this, there is another branch of the Healing Church that also believes in the different dimensions, and that will do anything in their power to reach that goal. And this is Mikolash and the School of Mensis. Through unspeakable means and sacrifice, including the utilization of an umbilical cord to gain audience with Murgo, Mikolash attempts, and partially succeeds, to reach the lofty realms that the Great Ones inhabit. However, once we reach him, it is quite obvious that his actual idea for evolution does not differ greatly from Willem's, we need to acquire eyes on the inside, and the school actually found out that the way to do this was by using the umbilical cords from the births of Great Ones hybrids. So there we go. These are the main ideas of evolution throughout Bloodborne, and several factions are willing to sacrifice anything to reach them. However, I do not think this paints the whole picture. To understand it, I will draw a small chart. At the bottom of the chart, we have humans. Plain old humans that have not been infected by the blood nor have gained any eyes or insight into the Eldritch truth. The next level we find is an offshoot reached by the injection of the old blood. The natural result of this branch is a gradual degradation into beasthood. This branch by itself leads nowhere, so it can even be considered a misstep in the attaining of the Great One's evolution. Another branch we find here is the acquiring of eyes without using any blood. At the end of this branch we have beings like Willem, which obviously have reached a form of ascension, but who have not completely transitioned. It is important to remark that the path upward the tree is locked by the acquisition of insight. Think about it like armor that allows one to withstand the higher pressure in a lower strata of the ocean. This also explains why beings that are confronted by the Eldritch truth, but that do not possess that level of insight necessary, are driven to insanity. The next level of the tree is reached by combining the two branches, as was done in the research hall and by Fake Yosefka in her clinic. And it results in the kin of the cosmos, like the celestial emissaries. By this point, the tree has already reached a considerable level of insight, and the beings that have reached this level are capable of summoning entities and forces from the cosmos that are close to the Great Ones. The next level we find is the amygdalas, who are obviously ascended beings, close in powers and abilities to all of the other Great Ones, but who do not seem to be quite as ascended. A good way I use to gauge this is how little insight one must possess to actually see them, and how many of them there are. This leads me to believe that they are at the bottom of the Great One ladder. As far as I can tell, no human in the game has managed to ascend to one of these, but who knows, Patches might be on his way to do it. The next level is arrived to by the player character once it has consumed 3/3 cords of a Great One, or 3/3 of the umbilical cord of a Great One hybrid, and then defeating a Great One, which in this case is the Moon Presence. At this stage, the player character has effectively become an infant Great One, well on his way to acquire the great powers and abilities that adult Great Ones possess. The next level is the lower level Great Ones, beings that are able to invoke and manipulate cosmic forces, but that are still very much tethered to the physical world. In this level, I put beings like Rom the vacuous spider, and I hold on a higher regard beings like Ebrietas. Yet the next level are the Great Ones that have begun to lose their tether to the physical world, but that can still manifest physically if they want to. The best in-game example of this level is the Moon Presence, who descends upon the Hunter's Dream once the player character defeats German. Now, up to this point in time, all of the Great Ones that we have mentioned are unable to breed. This is a huge blow to the aforementioned evolution, as if the Great One perishes, all of that transcendence is lost, and cannot be transferred to the next generation. Every Great One loses its child, and then yearns for a surrogate. As such, since the Great Ones are unable to procreate, they then proceed to manipulate humans into giving them surrogate children. Now if you ask me, there is yet another level above these, and this is the level that Erden has reached. In this level, the being has ascended to such a plane of existence that he is no longer physically visible, and is only known to exist by how the world reacts to their will. At this point, the Great One is once again able to reproduce, however, it can only reproduce with a creature that is still able to do so. Thusly, all reproduction with other Great Ones is unavailable to Erden, and he then seeks humans like Ariana, or Temerians like Queen Yarnum, with which he can procreate. I believe that his offspring results in beings like Rome or Ebrietas once they are able to reach maturity. So that's it, folks. That is my theory on the evolution within Bloodborne. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you like the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you enjoy this format for my videos. Like I mentioned earlier, I will continue to make my more edition heavy videos, but these will help increase the output of my content. You guys have a great day. My name is Cheps, and I will see you soon.